So I think this next question comes from someone who probably raised his or her hand when you asked the question about loving someone with whom they disagree.
Right.
But this asker wants to go a layer deeper than just disagreement about an issue or a policy, and framed the question as, what if you know you love this person, so you're outside contempt in theory, but what you're disagreeing about is not something policy or issue oriented, but is something existential. And the example given was January 6th or the Middle East.
Yeah.
Do you have an answer for the Middle East?
Yeah, it's like yeah, I'm declaring my candidacy for the presidency right here, right now, and you're in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's like, yeah. Obviously, I don't have an answer to those particular issues. But the truth of the matter is that we have differences on even these existential issues because there aren't answers to it. And here's the problem that we have. When we fail to listen to each other on these very, very hard issues, none of us makes any progress. One of the things that I've learned is, I'm a guy with a PhD in public policy. It's my main area, and I keep learning. And the way that I learn is not just by reading academic journal articles and other people's books. It's by listening to people when they tell me what they think. The best that we can possibly do in the course of our everyday interventions on very substantial issues, life and death issues around the world, like the Middle East, is to listen to each other, to actually figure out what the other person is trying to say. That doesn't mean you're going to be convinced by that, but that's the beginning of some sort of a dialogue where we can possibly learn from each other. That's exactly what's not going on in the Middle East, of course, but at least it can happen around our dinner tables. We can't get to the point where we're so calcified into a preconceived notion that nobody can bring a different idea to us under any other circumstances. There's no learning when that happens. There's no growth when that happens. All it is a values clash, and it becomes intensely personal. I got news for you. It's not personal. It's a difference of opinion that doesn't have to do with you. It has to do with the way that somebody else sees the world. And when you listen to somebody else, you might just learn why they think that. You'll also find, of course, that the more you listen, the more convincing that you appear to somebody else. Listening at Harvard University, where I teach, is also known as waiting to talk. That's not the right way to do it. It's actually listening in a spirit of love to somebody else, notwithstanding these particular differences. And it at least starts with that. And we can all do that.
So someone who has read your book, we've been reading it together as a congregation, the Love Your Enemies book. I know you have lots of books at the moment. We'll bring you back to talk about another one.